Hello everyone and welcome to Groop's second webinar. Thank you all for joining me today. My name is Tim and I'm the Sales Solution Consultant here at Groop, and today I'm going to be showing you an overview of the Groop platform. If you do have any questions throughout the webinar, please feel free to leave them below as there is a live chat and I'll answer them at the end of the session. Groop is a social tech company that offers a cloud-based system of support for clubs, groups and projects and events of any kind, anywhere. It's a really easy to use admin system that takes all of the hassle out of the back end of running a group or club. Groop not only suits independent clubs or groups, but because of our full circle offering, it means that umbrella bodies, who are responsible for hundreds or thousands of clubs or projects, are able to gather consistent data and communicate throughout their hierarchy. We are a team of experts from areas such as youth, sport, education, charities and the voluntary sector who brought technology in to solve a problem. During today's demonstration, I'll be covering the three key areas we focus on, and they are the governance, the communications and the data. And also we'll be looking into some of the new features that have been recently added to the platform. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and log in at the top here as a member login. And once I do so, that looks a little something like this. To start with, I'm going to actually show you the different types of access and privileges that you actually have access to when logging into the Groop platform. The first screen that you can see here is me actually logged in to maybe a subgroup of an organization or maybe an independent, but here I'm actually just at a member view only. So you'll notice that in here I actually have limited access, so I can only access the My Group chat features, the My Group Pay, and also my events, and I'll come on to those in a little further detail in just a moment. But this is what a standard member, maybe a volunteer, actually gets to see when they log into the platform. Going up through that though, if I jump into another group that I'm a part of, in here it might be that maybe I'm a staff member, a full-time volunteer, full-time coach, and you'll notice that my abilities on the left-hand side has now actually increased. And from in here, as well as my sort of three standard areas, I now also have a couple of additional areas that I'm now allowed to access because of the privileges that I have in this account. And I'll come on to that in just a moment. Moving up to this though, and maybe for more of a sort of admin role, if I go here, I can actually now see all of the features within my group or club or organization. And from here, I now have full access to everything and I can edit and change things. Whereas in the other accounts, I actually only have that limited ability to do so. Jumping on, the initial area that I'll land as an admin is my dashboard. From here, I can edit the banner at the top of the page via the pencil icon. And I can also edit and change my logo as well via the pencil icon as well. At the top of the page, I have my sort of profile, and in here I can edit my details. So for example, add and create a profile photo and change any personal details that I might need to. Going back a step, I can also look at my settings. So for example, if I'm looking to change my password, turn on or off notifications via email. So if I am in maybe a larger group and don't want to have those notifications keep on popping up on my emails, I can turn this off and actually just come into the platform and see the notifications in here. I can also see a list of the other groups that I'm a part of, and I can leave these if I so wish by popping in my password and hitting the leave button. At the top, I can also open the help form, which enables me to send in a support ticket to the support team, and they then are able to get back to me with any queries that I might have. As well as that, I can also log out from the top right-hand corner and actually log out of the platform completely. As well as this, on the dashboard, I can see a bit of general information around my group that I'm a part of, any up-and-coming events that I might have in my calendar, and also any latest notifications. Now, these notifications are not only for this group, but for any other groups that I'm a part of as well. As well as those features, we also have the help section at the bottom of the page where I can actually send in a live time real chat and one of the support team then comes back to me instantly. Moving on from here, one of the main communication features on the group platform is the My Group chat area. From within here, I can post comments at the top page here. And I can also add a photo or maybe a document along with that post as well. From here, other members can comment and like on these posts, and photos will look a little something like this. Going back to the top of the page, you now have the ability to send privately to individuals or maybe a small group of individuals via their email, name, or a label, and I'll come on to that in a little bit more detail later on in the video. From here, once I have selected the individuals that I want to send the private post to, once I hit that post comment button and head down, this is what a private post will actually look like. So for other members, they will not be able to see this post, but as an admin view, I have the privilege to be able to see the private posts that are going on between certain members. So I'm always able to sort of monitor those conversations. At the top of the page as well, I can now post to, if I am in a hierarchical structure, potential subgroups that are beneath my overarching organization. And via that, if I wanted to, I can choose the specific subgroup and actually pop in my comment and actually post it instantly onto their feed without even being in their group or club. I can also filter this feed via whether it's maybe only the admins that I want to sort of see what they've been talking about, or actually maybe the members and staff, and can really filter this list down so I can actually see what I want to rather than maybe everyone's comments. At the top of the page as well, I have a little bell notification, and in here I can see any of my sort of latest and up and coming notifications that might need to be dealt with. Heading down the page to the People section, in here this is our main database of users that you'll be adding into your group. Now these, you'll notice on the side here, are either active or not active, and I'll come into a little bit more detail about that in just a moment. But from at the top, I'm going to go ahead and create a person. Initially, I can pop in their first name, last name, and an email address, and the email address is what gives that user the access to the platform. You can also put in email addresses and not invite them onto the platform. It just means that you're then holding their data rather than actually giving that user access to sort of the different areas of the platform. Talking of different areas, depending on the role that that user is given, the group platform comes with 4 standard roles, and they are admin, staff, staff level 2, and member. Admin is all bells and whistles, complete access to everything, can add, delete, remove. Staff is the same as admin, but just can't add more users. Staff level 2 is the same as staff, so can't add more users, and it's just a look view only, so can't go in and edit or change anything. And a member just gets to see those initial 3 areas, so the group chat, group pay, and my event section. You'll also notice that in here I actually have a couple of additional roles as well, so one of which being volunteer, host, coach, adult member, and from in here I can actually create these roles myself. Heading down to the My Role section down at the left hand side here, if I go ahead and go into there, I can actually create a role at the top of the page, and from in here I can see the role title and any potential privileges that I want to add to that individual. Heading back to the People section of the page and going into that creating a person, once I'm happy with the role that I've created, I can then assign it to the individual, and then once I'm happy with that, give that individual the access to the platform. Obviously, there are additional boxes that you're more than welcome to fill, as much or as little detail. And we also have the labels section, which in here I can actually stamp a label against an individual, and an individual can actually have as many or as little labels against them. There is no limit to that at the moment. And the way I go ahead about doing that is I can search in a label that I've actually created and associate it with them. So when it comes to the reporting side and that data gathering, you are able to actually data gather from the labels that you've assigned against an individual. There's also next of kin contact information, which you're more than welcome to fill in, doctor's details, and other group details as well. Another feature within the group platform is the Guardian section, and from in here we can now associate a Guardian with someone who's under the age of 13, or again maybe actually it's more the older demographic that we're looking at as well. And from here I can actually associate maybe myself or another Guardian or dependent against an individual, and from that I can actually go over to the My Dependents tab. From in here, I can actually then go in as Will Smith, for example, who has no email, is not active. But as I'm a dependent of his, I can actually log in on his behalf, still comment on the group chat. In the My Group Pay section, if he does have any invoices, I can actually look at those and pay for those on his behalf as well. And also respond to any events that he might have coming up also. And I'll come into those in a little further detail. Once I'm happy with that, I can log back out of Will, and I'm now back to my actual account, if you like, and have full-blown access again. Within the Creating a Person tab, if I head further on down the page after the Guardians section, I now actually come to additional tabs that I've now actually created myself, and these are the customizable fields section. From in here, the DBS, member information and volunteer information are all fields that I've created myself. And the way that I do that is via the customizable fields section at the bottom of the page. And in here, I can now actually create a new customizable field area and actually then put in the information that I so wish. Back in the People's tab, I can then actually filter this list down via any of the new actual customizable field sections that I've created by searching for them in the Filters section. When I go back into creating a person, and once I'm happy with all the information that I've put against the individual, at the bottom of the page I can then add that user to the platform if I've popped in an email address. But again, if you're looking to just gather data on users, you don't actually want to invite them, leave it red and then hit the Create User button. From within the people database, I can actually, once I've created a person, now submit for an individual to actually fill in their own personal details. So for example, I'll use myself here. If I go in and edit, I can actually ask the user to actually submit sections. So for example, if I'm looking to put in just their first name, last name, and their email address, and I'm then actually looking for them to fill in maybe their personal contact details, so address, phone numbers, and again, maybe it's the doctor's details I want this individual to fill in, and maybe some of the customizable fields as well. I can select these, and then the user will fill these in on the initial invite that they get to the platform. Once I'm happy with my selections, I can then submit those checked fields, and it now gets sent across to myself for me to fill in when I'm actually logging into the platform. That is done via an email invitation, which will get sent to the email that you use to set up that individual. From here, I can also export my lists via CSV, and I can actually select specific columns. So if there are any of the customizable fields that I have created, I can actually go down, maybe I'm looking to look at the membership ID and any maybe e-learning certificates that we've had come in. If there are any, I can now export this via a CSV, and it pulls it down to a nice Excel spreadsheet really quickly and simply for me to now use. From within here, if I head over to the Events section, the events section of the platform enables me to create events and send events out nice and simply. Heading up to the Creating Events section, it does appear that it is being slightly slow, so just bear with me as I give it a quick refresh. In the event section, here we go, I can now actually create an event, and in here I can access and change the event details, so event name, start date and time, and maybe a bit of a description and the location that it's being held. I can also see the event labels, and these are actually a bit of a running theme throughout the platform. So I can actually associate labels with people, events, and invoices, which I'll come on to in just a moment. And the way that I do that is we also have a labels section, and in here I can create labels for users and the people, events, and also invoices. And these are done maybe via a category. So for example, here my category is team, and the label itself, I can actually then select a different number of labels and create them depending on which tab I'm in. And again, I can create that label choose the area I want it to be associated with, and add a category if needed. Back in the event section and creating the event, I can then associate that label with the event itself. I've also got a plan tab at the top, and from in here I can actually pop in a date and the event that was planned, and actually select the users that I want to choose, and it might be a specific number or maybe everyone. And from here I can also filter this list down via maybe it's a role or a label associated against an individual. I've also got the Invited tab, and in here I can filter the list down just like the other one via maybe a role, so it's all the admins that I want to invite to this event, and from here it now pulls the list of all of those and can select it via the slider at the top to invite everyone, or again it's actually maybe just a specific few that I want to actually invite to this event. At the top I've also got the evaluation, similar to the plan, the date and a bit of description, and who it was evaluated and done by. We've also got a customizable field section as well in the events area. Not only can you create customizable fields for people, but also for events. So in this case, I was looking to upload a session plan, and the way that I was able to do this is create a customizable field and actually upload a plan specifically for these events. If I head back to the events database and just refresh, if I have any events created at the bottom of the page, I'll be able to go into these and actually edit and communicate and change the individual areas of this. As well as the events page, we have the invoices, and from in here I can create a new invoice. I can add the amount and a reference, and also select who it is I want to send the invoice to. I can also associate those labels against those individuals, and also pop in a message, save the invoice for a later date, and also send it straight away if I so wish. I can also filter this list down, again, similar to the people and events. If it's maybe I'm looking to send the invoice to all of my members or volunteers, I can do that from in here and then select via the slider to invite and send it to everyone, or maybe just those specific couple of people. Within the Resources tab of the Groop Platform, I can now actually see the governance part of the group area itself. So I can see the group library, and from in here, I can see policies and other procedures, and these are actually free to access. It comes with the Groop Platform, and from in here I can see any documents or files that might have been uploaded, and the same in the documents area. If we have any folders and files, it enables me to actually see these and actually upload documents so that all my members can actually see those. The documents for my groups enables me to actually, if I am in that hierarchical structure, I can actually upload a document at the very top of the tree and then filter that down throughout so that everyone actually gets that document. Another area within the Groop Platform is the communications page. From in here, as well as the My Group chat area, we still have that simple email out communication. And from in here, I can add my subject, the content and the reply to email, and also any of the recipients that I want to receive this. Again, via the slider, I can choose who it is I'm sending the email to. Once I'm happy with it, I can save it for a later date or send it straight away. The report section of the platform enables me to actually gather and send out and report on large data reports. So maybe it's all of the member information that I'm looking to report on. I can hit the Get Report, and it quickly and easily sends out that report. Maybe it's the sort of member attendance or staff attendance between and from specific dates, and I can run the report as well if I have the data within the platform. If I also have a hierarchical structure, it will show me it in the group section. And from here, if I go ahead and click onto a subgroup, it enables me to see a little bit of the general data, and also within here, any of the sort of other sort of demographics and numbers. I can actually see these from here, even though I might not have access to them. I also have the group settings area, and from in here I can change my group name, the type, and also just add a general bit of detail around my group. If I am looking to use the Group Pay Admin, I will need to set up and connect a Stripe account. And the way that that's done is within the group settings, I go ahead and simply click on Connect Stripe Account, and it then gives you a nice step-by-step process to follow. When creating events and sending them out to specific individuals, they will appear like so. And from in here, I can view the events in a little more detail and actually respond to say whether I'm going, not going, or if I'm undecided. From here, I can also download the event into my personal calendar, so I don't actually have to log into the Groop platform to be able to see these. I can now actually just open up my phone or personal email and actually just see the event in my calendar straight away if I do hit that download event button. At the top, if I do have any of those invoices that have been sent to myself, as this is my test account, I can't actually see any, but in here would be my invoices, and from here I can actually go ahead and pay on those using my sort of long card number and the expiry date, so it means that it's sent out and done nice and quickly. As well as that, we're then back up to the My Group chat area and the dashboard. So if you do have any questions, feel free to fire them through now and I'll be more than happy to answer them. It doesn't look like we've had any questions, so thank you all for tuning in, and obviously we'll be in touch. If you do have any sort of further questions after the video, then please feel free to send them into the support team. We're always happy to answer them. And until then, we'll see you in the next webinar. Thank you. Bye-bye.